Do you think finding love after 60 is the same as when you were in your 30s or 40s? The truth may surprise you. Getting married again can be the best decision of your life, or the worst. Today, you'll discover 10 crucial truths before taking the next step. Because love later in life brings not only joy, but also some challenges most people never see coming. Thousands of older adults have faced unexpected struggles when deciding to remarry. Some lost money, others faced painful family conflicts, and many simply felt unprepared. But here's the good news. You don't have to make the same mistakes. In this video, you'll learn the essential truths no one tells you about getting married after 60. We'll talk about the emotional, financial, and even health-related realities that come with saying "I do" later in life. On this channel, we explore topics that transform your life and relationships. Whether you're divorced, widowed, or simply thinking about starting over, this video will help you approach love and marriage with clarity and confidence. And trust me, you'll want to stay until the end. Point number 10 might completely change the way you see love and partnership at this stage in life. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's dive into the 10 things you absolutely need to know before getting married after 60. When we think about love in our younger years, it often carries a sense of fantasy, soulmates, fireworks, and the happily ever after ideal. But after 60, love becomes something deeper, more grounded, and in many ways, more meaningful. One of the biggest shifts that happens with age is how we define love. In your 30s or 40s, you might have been focused on building a life, career, family, and long-term goals. Romance was often tied to ambition and planning, but in later years, love takes on a new shape. It's less about building and more about sharing. It's about enjoying what you've built and having someone to share quiet moments with, walks in the park, meaningful conversations, and mutual support. This is what many call mature love. It's not about passion that burns bright and fades. It's about warmth that lasts through the years. Mature love is patient, kind, and resilient. But to experience it fully, you have to adjust your expectations. You may not be swept off your feet, but you might find someone who stands beside you no matter what. Your values and priorities also shift. You may now value emotional safety over thrill, companionship over chaos, and depth over drama. These shifts are natural and healthy, and recognizing them can help you make better choices in a new relationship. Another key factor, compatibility in lifestyle and habits. After 60, most people are settled in their routines. You've developed preferences, how you like your mornings, what you eat, how you spend your time. These might seem like small details, but they matter. If you're an early riser and your partner's a night owl, or you love social events and they're a homebody, these differences can create tension over time. It's not about finding someone identical to you. It's about finding someone whose differences complement yours and who's willing to adapt and grow with you. And finally, we must recognize that emotional baggage plays a role. At this age, people bring history into relationships, past marriages, losses, regrets, and lessons. Instead of trying to forget that history, it's important to embrace it. These experiences shape who you are, and sharing them with a new partner can bring a sense of connection and understanding that younger couples might not yet appreciate. So, before stepping into marriage after 60, ask yourself, what does love mean to me now? What am I truly looking for, not just in a partner but in a shared life? Coming up next, we'll explore a topic that's often overlooked, but absolutely critical when remarrying later in life: money. Finances can strengthen or quietly destroy a relationship if not handled wisely. Stay tuned. Love may be priceless, but marriage, especially after 60, comes with real financial consequences. Many people don't realize how drastically money matters can shift in later life relationships. You've spent decades building your financial foundation: retirement accounts, pensions, savings, perhaps even property or investments. The question is, how will your finances blend with someone else's? Let's start with the basics. Shared expenses. Will you split bills equally? Will one of you move into the other's home? What about vacations, dining out, or unexpected medical costs? Talking openly about spending habits and financial expectations is essential. Avoiding these conversations can lead to misunderstandings and resentment later on. Then comes the more complex issue: wills, inheritances, and insurance. These topics can feel uncomfortable, but they are absolutely necessary. If you pass away, who receives your assets? Your new spouse or your children? How will marriage affect your pension or social security benefits? What happens to your home if only one of you owns it? Marriage can unintentionally alter your estate plans if you don't prepare. In some regions, getting married automatically overrides previous wills. That means your new spouse could legally inherit everything, even if your intention was to leave it to your children or grandchildren. Meeting with a financial advisor or estate attorney is not just smart, it's essential. There's also the question of long-term care and medical costs. If one partner becomes ill, the other may become responsible for their care, emotionally, physically, and financially. Are you prepared for that possibility? Do you have long-term care insurance? These aren't romantic topics, but they're vital. Another trap many fall into is financial overextension. When falling in love later in life, some people feel compelled to impress, buying expensive gifts, covering all the expenses, or offering financial help to their partner's family. Generosity is beautiful, but without boundaries, it can lead to regret. Transparency is the best financial tool in any relationship. Lay everything out on the table: debts, assets, income, spending habits, and financial goals. If you're hesitant to talk about money, ask yourself why. Money isn't just about numbers, it's about trust. Also, remember that financial independence doesn't end with marriage. Especially after 60, many people prefer to maintain separate bank accounts while sharing household costs. This isn't a lack of trust, it's a way to preserve autonomy and avoid power struggles. Lastly, consider this: marriage may change your health insurance or tax status. Before tying the knot, consult a tax professional or insurance agent to see how marriage might affect your benefits or obligations. Marriage can bring financial stability or financial strain. The difference lies in preparation and honesty. You don't need to be wealthy to have a successful marriage, but you do need to be wise. Up next, we'll talk about something that's often more emotional than financial. Family. Children, grandchildren, and even close friends can influence how your new relationship unfolds, sometimes in surprising ways. Let's dive into it. Falling in love again after 60 can feel like a new beginning, but for your family it might feel like a disruption. When you decide to remarry later in life, your children and grandchildren often come with you into the relationship, emotionally and sometimes even physically, and how they react can significantly shape your experience as a couple. Let's start with adult children. Even if they're grown and have families of their own, your decision to remarry can stir unexpected emotions. Some may feel protective of you, especially if they remember the pain of a past divorce or the loss of a beloved spouse. Others might worry about inheritance, financial decisions, or simply the fear of being replaced. These reactions aren't always rooted in selfishness. They're often driven by love and concern. But if not addressed, they can create tension between your new partner and your family. That's why communication is key. Talk openly with your children before you get married. Let them express their thoughts and feelings and share your own. Explain what this relationship means to you, not just emotionally but practically. Reassure them that your love for them hasn't changed and that this new chapter isn't about replacing anyone. It's about moving forward with joy and companionship. Grandchildren can also be affected. Young ones may need help understanding the new family dynamic, while teenagers might feel confused or distant. Including them gently in the process, introducing your partner slowly, spending time together casually, can help build trust and warmth over time. But it's not just about your family, it's about your partners too. They may have children or close relatives of their own. Learning to navigate those relationships with empathy and patience is essential. Don't rush into demanding affection or approval. Let relationships grow naturally and focus on showing consistency, kindness, and respect. You'll also notice that friends play a significant role at this stage of life. Longtime friends may have strong opinions about your new relationship. Some might cheer you on with enthusiasm. Others may be skeptical or even critical. Don't let others' fears dictate your future, but also don't ignore concerns from people who genuinely care about you. The truth is, when you marry after 60, you're not just blending two lives. You're merging social networks, traditions, and expectations. The key is to set boundaries early. For example, make it clear how often family members are welcome to visit, how holidays will be handled, or what role finances will play in supporting adult children or grandchildren. Above all, strive to create unity, not division. Encourage family gatherings where everyone can get to know each other in a relaxed setting. Let your actions show that this relationship adds love, not takes it away. You deserve happiness, and your family can be part of that even if the transition takes time. In the next section, we'll explore a reality that becomes more and more relevant as we age: health. Chronic conditions, caregiving expectations, and emotional support all take center stage. Let's talk about what to expect and how to prepare. As we age, health becomes a larger part of everyday life, and that reality deeply affects any relationship, especially marriage. When you're over 60, chances are you or your partner may already be managing a chronic condition: diabetes, arthritis, heart issues, or even early signs of cognitive decline. These health challenges don't make love impossible, but they do demand a different level of understanding, planning, and care. One of the first things to consider is how health impacts daily life. Doctor's appointments, medications, dietary needs, and mobility issues can change routines significantly. You're not just planning date nights, you're navigating a shared healthcare journey. That means being honest about your own health and learning about your partner's needs too. But health isn't only physical, it's emotional and mental too. Loneliness, grief, and anxiety often show up more intensely in later years. Marriage can be a source of incredible emotional support, but only if both partners are willing to be vulnerable and attentive. There's also the question many avoid: who will take care of whom? If your partner gets sick, are you prepared to be their caregiver? And if you become ill, can you trust them to care for you with patience and dignity? These are hard questions, but they must be asked early. Discuss your expectations about caregiving roles. Will you hire help if needed? Do you have long-term care insurance? Have you each designated a medical power of attorney? These conversations may feel clinical, but they are a profound act of love and responsibility. Another important point is energy levels and physical intimacy. Aches, fatigue, or medication side effects can affect how much energy you both have to enjoy activities together. The key is flexibility. Maybe long hikes become short walks. Maybe late dinners turn into cozy brunches. What matters most is finding new ways to connect and enjoy life together. Being proactive about health can also become a shared mission. Many couples find that exercising together, cooking healthy meals, or attending medical appointments as a team brings them closer. You become not just partners in love, but partners in wellness. And sometimes health conditions bring limitations you didn't expect. Unexpected hospital stays, the need to move to a home with fewer stairs, or adapting your travel plans. Resilience and a willingness to adapt together are crucial. It's also wise to involve family early when discussing health. Make sure children or close friends know what your plans are. Clear communication now prevents confusion and stress later. The reality is this: health may challenge your relationship, but it can also deepen it. Facing illness or physical limitations with compassion and commitment can turn love into something truly powerful. Up next, we'll shift from private health matters to something more public: your social life. Remarrying at this stage doesn't just change your inner world, it can reshape your friendships and social dynamics in unexpected ways. Let's explore how. When you get married after 60, the impact isn't limited to your personal life. It also affects your entire social circle. Friends, neighbors, church communities, and even acquaintances may see you differently, and your own perspective on social life will likely evolve as well. Let's begin with the changes in friendships. You may notice that some friends are incredibly supportive of your new marriage, offering encouragement, invitations, and genuine happiness for you. Others, however, may become distant or even critical. This can be especially true if your friends are single, widowed, or divorced. Your marriage may unintentionally trigger their own feelings of loneliness or loss, and that can strain relationships. Understanding this dynamic is important. It doesn't mean you've done anything wrong, but it does mean that you'll need to nurture your friendships thoughtfully, reassuring them that your marriage doesn't mean the end of those bonds. It just means adapting them. Then there's the issue of couple activities versus personal time. When you were single, your time was yours. After marriage, there may be a new rhythm. More dinners with couples, more weekends together, and possibly fewer solo outings. That can feel exciting or limiting, depending on your personality. It's important to strike a healthy balance. Don't lose your independence, your hobbies, or your individual friends. A strong marriage allows space for both togetherness and solitude. Having yours, mine, and ours in terms of social life can actually strengthen your relationship. Another subtle shift happens in social expectations. People may now assume you'll always attend events as a pair, or that your spouse speaks for both of you. Be clear about your preferences. If you value attending certain events alone, or simply need personal space, it's okay to communicate that kindly and clearly. Jealousy can also creep in, especially if either partner has long-time friendships with members of the opposite sex. At this stage of life, those friendships are often innocent, but that doesn't mean they're free of emotional complexity. Open communication is essential. Reassure each other often and be transparent about relationships that may trigger concern. Also, don't underestimate the importance of shared social values. If one of you loves being around people while the other prefers quiet nights in, that mismatch can cause friction. Talk about how you like to spend weekends, holidays, and special occasions. Is one of you more private? Does the other enjoy being the life of the party? Finding common ground and agreeing to compromise is vital. Your social life can also expand in beautiful ways. Remarrying after 60 can introduce you to new friends, new traditions, and fresh opportunities to connect. Consider joining clubs, church groups, or volunteer organizations as a couple. Not only will this deepen your bond, but it also enriches your sense of community. Finally, remember this: your marriage is part of your social story, but it doesn't define your entire identity. Keep showing up for your friends, keep investing in meaningful conversations, and encourage your spouse to do the same. In the next section, we'll look at something people often hesitate to talk about, but it matters deeply: intimacy and affection. Let's uncover the truths and myths about love's physical side after 60 and how to keep that spark alive. Intimacy doesn't end at 60. In fact, it can flourish in surprising and deeply fulfilling ways, but it often looks and feels different from what we experienced in earlier decades. In your 30s or 40s, intimacy may have been driven by passion, spontaneity, and physical energy. But as we grow older, the meaning of intimacy expands. It becomes less about urgency and more about emotional closeness, trust, tenderness, and connection. Let's begin by addressing a common myth. Older adults don't need physical affection. That couldn't be further from the truth. Studies consistently show that physical touch, hugs, holding hands, cuddling, continues to be a powerful source of emotional and even physical well-being in later life. Still, it's true that the nature of physical intimacy changes. Hormonal shifts, medication side effects, and physical limitations can all affect desire and performance. And that's okay. The goal is not to recreate youthful passion. It's to build a new kind of closeness, one that fits who you are now. So how do you keep the spark alive? Start with honest communication. Share what feels good, what's changed, and what you need from each other. This can be awkward at first, especially if you or your partner were in long-term relationships where routines became unspoken. But talking openly about intimacy strengthens trust, and trust is the foundation for lasting connection. It also helps to broaden your definition of intimacy. Sometimes it's a shared laugh over coffee. Sometimes it's slow dancing in the living room or reminiscing together in bed. Small moments of closeness create emotional glue, and when emotional closeness is strong, physical intimacy often follows naturally. Don't be afraid to adapt and explore. If physical challenges arise, consider new ways to be close, different positions, more time for affection, or simply shifting focus from performance to connection. There are also medical options available if needed. Talking with your doctor can open doors to solutions you may not have considered. Emotional vulnerability becomes even more important. In youth, physical attraction often led the way. But now, intimacy thrives on being seen and accepted for who you truly are. Scars, wrinkles, fears, and all. Sharing stories, fears, and dreams can bring a closeness that feels more satisfying than any physical act alone. Also, remember that self-image plays a role. After 60, many people, both men and women, struggle with how their bodies have changed. Remind your partner they're beautiful. Compliment them, make them feel desired, and allow yourself to receive that love in return. Finally, be patient. If one of you is recovering from grief, trauma, or simply needs more time, give it without pressure. Intimacy isn't a race, it's a dance. Some days it's slow and quiet, others joyful and playful, but always it's about connection. Love after 60 may not be driven by adrenaline, but it's rich with meaning. When intimacy is built on emotional depth, kindness, and honesty, it becomes something truly special. Coming up next, we'll explore a question many couples face today. Should we get married or just live together? The legal and emotional implications of this decision might surprise you. Let's unpack it. After 60, many couples face a unique question. Should we get married or simply live together? It's a deeply personal decision, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer. What matters most is understanding both the legal and emotional implications of each choice, because they're often more complex than people realize. Let's start with cohabitation. For some, living together without marriage offers freedom, flexibility, and fewer legal entanglements. You can share your life with someone you love while maintaining financial independence, existing wills, and pension benefits. This arrangement often appeals to those who've already been through divorce or widowhood and want companionship without the formalities. But cohabitation isn't as simple as just moving in together. In some places, long-term cohabiting relationships can be seen as common law marriages with legal rights and obligations attached. This can affect property, medical decisions, and inheritance. That's why it's important to document your intentions clearly, with cohabitation agreements, powers of attorney, and updated wills. On the other hand, marriage provides a legal framework that automatically grants rights and protections. These include hospital visitation, next-of-kin status, spousal health benefits, tax advantages or disadvantages depending on your income brackets, and inheritance rights without probate. But marriage can also bring unintended legal consequences. For example, getting married might reduce or eliminate certain government benefits, such as Social Security survivor benefits or veteran pensions. It can also complicate estate planning, especially if either partner has children or grandchildren from previous relationships. If not addressed legally, marriage can override previous wills or complicate asset distribution after death. That's why couples considering marriage at this stage in life should always consult a legal or financial advisor. A bit of planning now can prevent serious misunderstandings later. Beyond the legal side, there's the emotional weight of marriage versus cohabitation. For some, marriage represents a sacred bond, something spiritual, permanent, and deeply meaningful. It offers a sense of stability and shared identity. Being able to say, "This is my husband" or "This is my wife" still carries significance, especially in social and religious circles. Others may feel just as committed without needing the title. For them, the emotional bond matters more than a legal document. What's most important is mutual agreement and clarity, knowing that both partners are on the same page. It's also important to ask, why are you choosing marriage or not? Are you doing it out of pressure from family, religious beliefs, financial incentives, or fear of being alone? Or are you choosing based on what truly aligns with your values, goals, and lifestyle? Whether you marry or live together, your relationship deserves intentionality. Have open conversations about expectations, roles, future plans, and what each path really means to you both. Remember, this chapter of your life is yours to write. Whether it includes rings and a ceremony or shared coffee each morning in quiet companionship, what matters most is the depth of the commitment, not the label. In the next section, we'll shift from legal decisions to something much more personal: how to adapt to each other's lifestyles and routines. Because love doesn't just live in grand gestures, it thrives in the everyday. Love may be the foundation of any relationship, but daily life is where it's truly tested. After 60, adapting to someone else's lifestyle and routines can be both rewarding and challenging. By this stage, most people have developed their own habits: what time they wake up, how they take their coffee, how they spend their evenings. You've likely lived alone or independently for years, and your space, your time, and your rhythm are uniquely your own. So, what happens when someone else moves into that picture? The first key is awareness. Recognize that both of you bring decades of personal habits into this relationship. Maybe you love a perfectly quiet house, while your partner leaves the radio on all day. Perhaps one of you keeps everything tidy, and the other is more relaxed about clutter. These aren't flaws, they're simply differences. But left unaddressed, they can create friction. Communication is your strongest ally. Talk about your routines. When do you like to eat meals? How do you spend your weekends? What does alone time look like for each of you? The more you talk, the fewer assumptions you'll make, and the fewer misunderstandings you'll face. Next, work together to create new shared routines. This might mean finding rituals that bring you together, like morning walks, reading together in the evening, or a weekly movie night. These habits don't just structure your time, they strengthen your bond. That said, maintaining your individual identity is equally important. You don't have to do everything together. In fact, having separate hobbies and interests can enrich the relationship. Support each other's passions, even if you don't share them. It builds respect and keeps the relationship dynamic. Living with someone new also brings up compromise. Maybe you like sleeping with the window open and they don't. Maybe one of you cooks and the other orders takeout. Rather than arguing about who's right, ask, what solution honors both of us? Sometimes that means rotating preferences. Sometimes it means finding a middle ground. One area where differences often surface is decision-making. Who decides what to cook, what TV show to watch, how to organize the home? In long-standing routines, small choices can feel like personal territory. Approach these moments with patience, and remember that cooperation often matters more than winning. Another factor to consider is space. Especially if one of you moves into the other's home, feelings of displacement can arise. Make sure both partners feel a sense of ownership and comfort. Even small gestures, like making space in the closet or decorating together, can go a long way in building a shared home. Finally, be kind to yourselves. Adjusting to each other's rhythms takes time. You're not starting from scratch. You're blending two lives, histories, and worlds. There will be bumps along the way, but with patience, laughter, and grace, you'll find your flow. In our next section, we'll explore something at the heart of every lasting relationship: communication and respect. Without them, even the strongest love can falter. But with them, almost anything is possible. Let's dive in. No matter your age, no relationship can thrive without two fundamental pillars: communication and respect. But after 60, these aren't just helpful, they're essential. Why? Because by this stage of life, both you and your partner carry decades of experiences, habits, opinions, and possibly emotional scars. You're not just merging two lives, you're merging two well-established identities, and that requires careful, respectful communication. Let's begin with why communication matters more than ever. At this age, we tend to assume things. We think we know what others mean, or we believe our partner should know us by now. But these assumptions can lead to silent resentments or unnecessary conflict. Instead, make the choice to speak openly, even about the small stuff. How you feel, what you need, what's bothering you, these things matter. And equally important, be willing to listen without defensiveness. Let your partner finish before responding. Ask questions with curiosity, not accusation. When communication is safe and calm, it builds trust, and that trust creates emotional security. Disagreements are inevitable, even in the most loving relationships. But the goal isn't to avoid conflict, it's to handle it with grace. That starts with managing your tone. Words spoken in frustration can do lasting damage, especially if they hit sensitive areas. When tensions rise, take a breath, step back. Ask yourself, is this about winning or understanding? Another key element is learning to apologize well. At this stage of life, pride can be one of the biggest barriers to peace. But saying "I was wrong" or "I didn't mean to hurt you" can repair wounds and bring you closer. Don't let small misunderstandings grow into silent walls. Just as vital as communication is mutual respect. This means valuing your partner's opinions. Even when you disagree, it means not trying to change them or mold them into someone they're not. And it means honoring their independence and personal choices. In a healthy relationship, both people feel seen, heard, and valued. You don't have to like the same movies or agree on politics, but you do have to treat each other with dignity. Respect also shows up in daily life, in how you share chores, how you speak about each other in public, and how you handle personal boundaries. Are you giving your partner space when they need it? Are you encouraging their growth or criticizing their choices? Remember, love without respect becomes control, and respect without communication becomes distance. But when you have both, your relationship becomes a place of safety, strength, and connection. One final note: it's okay to ask for help. If communication becomes a struggle, couples counseling isn't just for younger people. Many older couples benefit greatly from having a neutral space to grow and heal together. Up next, we'll turn our attention to something uplifting and deeply rewarding: finding purpose and shared happiness. Because at the end of the day, love isn't just about living together, it's about building a life that feels meaningful. Let's explore how to do that, together. Marriage after 60 isn't just about companionship. It's about discovering a new purpose together. At this stage of life, you're not just seeking someone to grow old with, you're looking for someone to grow deeper with. When the busy years of career building and child-rearing are behind you, you suddenly have something rare and beautiful. Time. Time to reflect. Time to pursue passions. Time to enjoy life, not just endure it. And sharing that time with someone who aligns with your spirit can bring a level of happiness you may never have experienced before. But true joy in marriage doesn't just happen. It's something you cultivate, like a garden that needs regular attention. One of the best ways to nurture that joy is to discover a shared purpose. Maybe it's volunteering at your church or in your community. Maybe it's mentoring younger couples, supporting a cause, or starting a small business together. Some couples take up traveling, while others find meaning in hosting family gatherings or even adopting a pet. What matters is not what you do, but that you do it together, with intention. Shared purpose brings direction to your relationship. It gives you something to build, something to look forward to, and it reinforces the sense that you're not just passing time, you're making the most of it. Another key to happiness is sharing hobbies and interests. Whether it's gardening, cooking, walking, painting, or playing music, doing something fun and meaningful together strengthens emotional bonds. These small joys become the glue that keeps a relationship warm and alive. Still, individual happiness matters too. A healthy marriage celebrates individual growth as much as shared goals. Support each other's interests even when they differ. Encourage one another to keep learning, exploring, and becoming. When both partners feel fulfilled personally, the relationship thrives. Also, don't underestimate the power of laughter. Life brings enough seriousness on its own. Make time to be playful, tell jokes, dance in the kitchen, share silly memories. Joy isn't just found in deep conversations, it's found in lightness too. And perhaps the most important element of all? Gratitude. After 60, you begin to realize that every day, every hug, every moment is a gift. Expressing gratitude to your partner regularly, whether through words, gestures, or simply presence, creates a relationship rooted in love, not expectation. Yes, marriage after 60 is different. It's not about building an empire, it's about building peace, joy, and meaning. You're not just adding years to your life, you're adding life to your years. As we wrap up, remember this: a purposeful relationship is not just about what you do. It's about how you show up, love, and grow together. It's about choosing each other every day, not out of need, but out of deep appreciation. Now, in our final section, we'll bring everything together with one key message you don't want to miss. Plus, we'll ask for your thoughts and give you a powerful next step to continue your journey. Before you say "I do" again after 60, there's something deeply personal, yet often overlooked, that deserves attention: emotional healing. Because even if your heart is open to love, unhealed wounds from the past can quietly shape your future. Whether you're divorced, widowed, or never married before, chances are you've experienced emotional loss in one form or another. Maybe it was the pain of betrayal, maybe it was the heartbreak of losing a spouse, or maybe it's simply the quiet ache of having been alone for a long time. Whatever your story, one thing is true: we carry the past with us, and unless we take the time to process it, it can affect how we connect with someone new. That's why healing isn't just a gift to yourself, it's a gift to your future partner. When you take time to reflect, to forgive, and to let go of lingering resentment or grief, you clear the space in your heart for genuine connection. Start by asking yourself some honest questions. Have I fully processed my last relationship? Are there unresolved emotions I'm still carrying? Do I compare new people to those from my past? Am I afraid of being hurt again? These reflections aren't always easy, but they're powerful. And sometimes the best way to move forward is to talk with a counselor, a pastor, or a trusted friend who can help you see things clearly. Healing also means releasing unrealistic expectations. The new person in your life is not here to fix your loneliness or replace someone you've lost. They're not meant to complete you, but to walk beside you as you continue growing. It's also important to understand how your past shapes your patterns. Were there communication habits, emotional triggers, or personal insecurities that showed up in your previous relationships? Being aware of these helps you avoid repeating old mistakes, and builds a stronger foundation this time around. Forgiveness plays a major role here, both for others and for yourself. Maybe your past partner made decisions that hurt you. Maybe you feel regret over how things ended. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means freeing yourself from the weight of what can no longer be changed. This emotional freedom brings clarity. It helps you see your new relationship with fresh eyes, not through the lens of fear, bitterness, or comparison. It also helps you love with greater compassion, because you've walked through pain and come out stronger on the other side. Another layer of healing involves self-worth. After 60, some people feel like their chance at love has passed. They may believe they're too old, too broken, or too late for a new beginning, but nothing could be further from the truth. You are not starting over. You are starting again, with wisdom, experience, and resilience. And that makes your love story even more meaningful. So before walking down the aisle, or even committing to a long-term relationship, ask yourself, have I made peace with my past? If the answer is yes, you're ready to begin again, not out of desperation, but out of strength. And if the answer is not yet, take your time. Healing isn't a race, but it is essential. In our final section, we'll wrap everything up with a reminder of why love after 60 is not just possible, it's powerful. Plus, we'll give you a chance to share your own thoughts and continue this beautiful journey together. Marriage after 60 isn't better or worse than marriage in your younger years. It's simply different. It's more thoughtful, more intentional, and often more peaceful. At this stage, you bring not just love to the table, but wisdom, experience, and a clear understanding of what truly matters. We've talked about how romantic expectations evolve, how finances and family play key roles, how health and intimacy shift, and how communication and respect become your greatest tools. We've also explored the importance of adapting to new routines and discovering a shared sense of purpose. The truth is, getting married after 60 can be one of the most fulfilling decisions of your life, if you're prepared. And now you are. So now we'd love to hear from you. Have you thought about getting married again after 60? What do you think is the biggest challenge or the biggest blessing of late-in-life love? Let us know in the comments below. Your story could inspire someone else. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. You never know who might need this message today. Finally, if you want to continue learning about relationships, health, and happiness in your later years, check out the next video on your screen now. It's filled with valuable insights to help you live this season of life with joy and confidence. Thank you for watching, and remember, love doesn't have an age limit, it has a heartbeat. Keep listening to it.